Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Dr. Himanshu Gupta and today in this video we are going to study about glycolysis. Okay, so what do you understand by glycolysis? What do you understand by glycolysis? So guys, as we know, we eat sugar to metabolize it into energy. Okay, we want energy from glucose. So where does this energy from glucose come from? This energy from glucose comes from by its breakdown, by its catabolic activity, and the first process that takes place in its catabolic activity is glycolysis. Okay, so glycolysis is the first pathway that it will undergo, that glucose will undergo in order to provide our body energy, our cells energy. Okay, so by the end of this video you should be clear with every step of glycolysis, what are the irreversible steps in glycolysis and which are the metabolites that inhibit this pathway, and also I want you to know what are the clinical significance of this glycolysis. Okay, so let us begin our discussion. So I will just tell you in brief. Okay, I will just tell you in brief what this cycle is. Okay, so glucose enters the cell. You need to know that this process of glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm. Okay, so this glucose will enter the cell through a GLUT transporter. Once this glucose enters the cell, it will be converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, with the help of enzyme, guys, which will be the enzyme that will be responsible for conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. Any enzyme which utilizes ATP, the enzyme will be kinase. Okay, this you need to remember. Any enzyme which utilizes ATP for its conversion, okay, the enzyme will be kinase. Okay, so this will be the first kinase that will be utilizing in this pathway. Okay, so glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, why do we need this conversion? Have you even wondered that why these simple molecules are attached with the phosphate molecule? So guys, I want to tell you, once this glucose enters into the cell, okay, it always has the opportunity to leave outside the cell. Okay, it can go outside the cell. In order to prevent it from going outside the cell, okay, this glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, once it is converted into glucose 6-phosphate, it is available for metabolism into various pathways, and one pathway is glycolysis. Okay, so this is the reason why glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Then this glucose 6-phosphate is further converted into fructose 6-phosphate. Okay, can you think of an enzyme that will convert this glucose 6-phosphate into fructose 6-phosphate? Guys, it is very simple. Fructose is an isomer of glucose. So the enzyme will be glucose 6-phosphate isomerase. Okay, now this fructose 6-phosphate will be converted into fructose 1,6-biphosphate. And what will be the enzyme? The enzyme will be phosphofructokinase, because this is the substrate, phosphofructokinase. Okay, so as we are adding a phosphate in this step, from fructose 6-phosphate we are converting into fructose 1,6-biphosphate. As we are adding one phosphate in this step, okay, so we will be utilizing one ATP also. And also guys, this is an irreversible step. The conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate was also an irreversible step. You need to remember all the irreversible steps that are there. Okay, so guys, the first irreversible step was the step where glucose was converted to glucose phosphate with the help of enzyme hexokinase. Okay, why do we use hexokinase? Because glucose is a molecule which has 6 carbon atoms, so we use the word hexose. Okay, now this fructose 1,6 biphosphate will be further split into two molecules. It will be split into two molecules. One is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and another is dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate. Okay guys, so once this fructose 1,6 biphosphate is split, okay, we need to know the enzyme. The enzyme will be a lyase that is breaking this 6 carbon atom molecule into 3 carbon atoms molecules. Okay, so this enzyme is, guys, aldolase. Okay, now you know our further pathway will be used utilizing this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So we have to convert this dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Okay, so we have to convert this dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate because our further metabolism will be used utilizing this molecule. Okay guys, so what will be the enzyme? Since these both molecules are isomers of each other, the enzyme will be isomerase. Okay, now we have to convert this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This will be converted into 1,3 biphosphoglycerate. I know this is a very long name. Okay, so just remember this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be converted into 1,3 biphosphoglycerate, and this is a very important step. This is a very important step in the pathway of glycolysis because a molecule of NADH2 is synthesized. This is a high energy molecule. In this step, NAD is converted into NADH2. This NAD is converted into NADH2, and this NADH2 will further go into the mitochondria. It will, with the help of electron transport chain, this will synthesize 2.5 ATP for us. Okay guys, and one phosphate that is added is an inorganic phosphate. Inorganic phosphate is added in this step. Okay, so guys, as you see the hydrogen is being taken away from this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. You can see this, it was NAD and it got converted to NADH2. Okay, so where does this 2 hydrogen come from? These 2 hydrogens are coming from glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So guys, hydrogen is being taken away from the substrate. Can you think of an enzyme that will help in the removal of hydrogen from the substrate? It will be dehydrogenase. Got it? Because hydrogen is being taken away from the substrate, so the enzyme will be glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Guys, remember this is the step at which a molecule of NADH2 is being synthesized. Okay, now this 1,3 biphosphoglycerate. Okay guys, remember that all these steps are irreversible. Okay, I will tell you which are the steps that are reversible. And one thing I want to tell you about the enzyme of the phosphofructokinase. Okay, this was an irreversible step, and this is the rate limiting enzyme of glycolysis. Rate limiting enzyme of glycolysis. Okay guys, and this enzyme is inhibited by its product, and its product is fructose 1,6 biphosphate. Okay, now coming to 1,3 biphosphoglycerate, this will be converted into 3 biphosphoglycerate, 3 phosphoglycerate. Okay, and where does this 1 ATP goes? This 1 ATP is utilized in the formation of 1 ATP. Okay, this 1 phosphate is utilized in the formation of 1 ATP, and this enzyme will be catalyzed by an enzyme that will be a kinase, so it will be phosphoglycerate kinase, phosphoglycerate. So guys, are you seeing how the names of the enzymes are being formed? These enzymes are being formed by the substrate that is being utilized and the process that it is undergoing. Okay, so this 3 phosphoglycerate will be converted into 2 phosphoglycerate. Okay, so these two molecules look similar to us, okay, and the enzyme will be for this process will be a mutase. Okay guys, okay, now this 2 phosphoglycerate will be further converted into phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay, and this phosphoenol pyruvate, while it is being converted, a molecule of water is being taken out. Okay, and so a molecule of water is being taken out. This molecule is being split into 2 parts, phosphoenol pyruvate plus water. Okay, so the enzyme will be enolase. Okay guys, so the enzyme will be enolase. Okay, so coming to the last step of glycolysis. So the last step of glycolysis is conversion of phosphoenol pyruvate into pyruvate. So where does this phospho and enol goes? Okay, so this is utilized in the formation of ATP. At this step, ADP is converted into ATP. Okay guys, and since ATP is being formed, can you tell me the name of the enzyme that will catalyze this reaction? The enzyme will be kinase. Okay, and the step will be phosphoenol pyruvate kinase. Remember guys, this is also an irreversible step. In the glycolysis. This will be an irreversible step in the glycolysis. So guys, let us revise what we have discussed. Okay, let us revise which are the steps that are being taken in the glycolysis. Okay, so guys, in this glycolysis, first the glucose enters the cell through GLUT transporters and it is converted into glucose 6-phosphate with the help of enzyme hexokinase. This glucose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate with the help of enzyme isomerase. Then in this fructose 6-phosphate molecule, one molecule of ATP is added and it is converted into fructose 1,6 biphosphate. This fructose 1,6 biphosphate is further split into 2 molecules, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone 3-phosphate. This glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate further undergoes dehydrogenation and it forms 1,3 biphosphoglycerate. This 1,3 biphosphoglycerate with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase yields 3-phosphoglycerate and so on. Okay guys, so I want to tell you what is the net ATP that is formed at the end of glycolysis. See guys, 2 ATP we have utilized, 2 ATP we have used, okay, in the enzymes hexokinase and phosphofructokinase. And you know, after the steps of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, okay, glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, everything has to be multiplied by 2 because dihydroxyacetone 3 phosphate was converted into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, okay. So 2 molecules of NADH2 are synthesized, okay, 2 molecules of NADH2 are synthesized, and in the step of phosphoglycerate dehydrogenase, okay, and 4 molecules of ATP were synthesized. 4 molecules of ATP were synthesized in the process of phosphoenol pyruvate kinase and phosphoglycerate kinase, okay guys. So these 2 molecules of NADH2 will yield us 5 molecules of ATP, 4 molecules of ATP are formed directly, and 2 molecules of ATP are used. So the net ATP that is formed using glycolysis is 7 ATP, okay guys. And I also want to tell you the steps at which ATP is directly formed. These steps are called as substrate level phosphorylation, okay guys. So these are the steps that are known as substrate level phosphorylation. And guys, one very important thing, you know, in erythrocytes there are no mitochondria. So whatever energy that is coming to erythrocytes, it is only through glycolysis, because this pyruvate molecule is not undergoing any metabolism in the mitochondria, okay. So guys, whenever there is any deficiency in the enzyme of glycolysis, what will happen? You must have read pyruvate kinase deficiency leads to hemolysis. Guys, do you know why this occurs? Because once there is deficiency in the enzyme of glycolysis, you know, all the proton pumps, various pumps that are maintaining the ion concentration within the cytoplasm of the erythrocyte, they will stop functioning. Once the various pumps stop functioning due to lack of ATP, okay, there will be influx of calcium, potassium within the erythrocyte, okay, and once their concentration increases, it will cause lysis of the cells, okay guys. And last, guys, we will discuss the inhibitors, the important inhibitors that are there in glycolysis. The first is iodoacetate. This iodoacetate inhibits glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate dehydrogenase. Coming to fluoride inhibits enolase. Okay, and the last that you need to know is arsenate. This arsenate inhibits biphosphoglycerate kinase. Okay guys, so this was all for you for glycolysis. We will meet you in the next video. All the best guys.